Mountain Motorsports has grown so much in the Atlanta area that 2 of our stores needed somewhere to have a build department. We don't have a retail location here. There's no salesman, there's no service department. It's just us and the VPs up front. We unload them, check them in, store them, and then whenever the unit sells, or if the unit's pre-sold, the salesmen know to request the unit. Then we go and get the unit. There is build manuals for every unit. Each build technician has access to that goes step by step. If they follow that to a T, then they won't have any problems building the unit.
Right here, it's going to show me all the parts that I'm going to discard as I'm taking all the parts that are on the vehicle off that I need to install. If it has a roof, I'm going to install that. If it has lower doors, I'm going to install that. Skid plates. Right here, it's going to show me the cage trim. I'm actually going to start to uncrate the vehicle. We're going to start cutting straps, and I'm going to start taking all the bolts off. Right here, it's going to have all the parts for the vehicle. That should be everything off the cage, so now we're gonna unbox all the parts. Now that we have all of the items unpackaged, we can go ahead and start putting the cage on with all the right bolts. We're gonna look back at the manual to make sure that we're using all the right bolts. It's gonna tell us to replace bolts on the top part of the cage before we install it. All right, we're gonna start torquing the cage down now. So we're gonna look back at the manual for all the torque specs. We're gonna start with the lower part of the cage and work our way up. Now that the cage is torqued, we can put everything back on that we took off to put the cage on. Now we're gonna put the last part of the cage on using a rivet gun. I'm going to put on the side covers for this vehicle. I'm going to cut the straps real quick. Now we're going to program the vehicle with the computer. It's going to allow us to program the key so that only this key runs this vehicle. And it also allows us to see if there's any problems in the vehicle before we send it to the store.
Most everyone that is hired on as a build technician want to become a technician. And they come here, learn the basics, and get to know the units as a whole before going to the stores and having to do services or repair the units. They're more familiar with them. They already know where stuff is, which makes them more efficient and be able to make more money as a technician.
Right here I have the pre-delivery inspection for the Can-Am Maverick. It's gonna tell me the torque specs. It's gonna tell me what tire pressure it's supposed to be at. It's gonna tell me to check the oil, the air filter, and just make sure that everything is in pristine condition for this vehicle to be ready for the showroom floor. All right, we're gonna go ahead and check the oil on this vehicle, make sure it's all good before we send it to the store. Yep. We're gonna torque the wheels now, make sure they're up to spec. Now we're gonna check the tire pressure, make sure it's all good. Now we're gonna fill up the vehicle with some gas. Now that we've finished the vehicle, I have to do the checklist and make sure I've done everything correctly on this vehicle and that I did not forget anything. Got the vehicle all done now. It's all ready, made sure everything was up to spec, up to par. Now we're gonna get it up on the vehicle and send it to the store.
We are the first ones to see new models. We're the first ones to be able to build them, test ride them. We've got lots of space to be able to test ride the units on the property and store the units here in a good location.